Don's reckoning, saw things differently. So Don was out, casting around for another berth with age no longer on his side. Only his natural complacency prevented him worrying about what the future held. An opportunity would surely present itself. He had put the word out. He was keeping his ear to the ground. It was a surprise, nonetheless, when the first contact he had after leaving Mendes Chinnery was not from one of their competitors, but from a solicitor several of their clients used. Fran Revell also happened to be Don's ex-wife, which might have caused a less self-confident man to doubt she wanted to do him a favour. But they had communicated cordially enough on business matters since their divorce, and Don, for his part, remembered their parting as more sorrowful than angry. The fact that Fran had nominated a nearby coffee shop for their meeting, rather than her office, should perhaps have served as some form of warning. But Don chose to interpret that as her preference for a relaxed and informal environment, which was fine by him. He had even been tempted to suggest putting back their appointment by an hour and meeting in a bar. There were several in the vicinity he could recommend. Wisely, however, he had not pushed his luck. Pushing his luck, after all, was what had wrecked their marriage. Fran was already there when he arrived, busy on her iPhone between sips of cappuccino. She looked, as ever, some years younger than her age, slim and groomed and glowing. As for her expression when she caught sight of him, well, there was no imagining away the tightness of her smile. But the half-affectionate, half-wary shake of her head suggested his goodwill account had not yet reached its overdraft limit. "You're looking great, Fran," he said, after an air-kiss greeting. "Thanks." She made no comment on his appearance. "I'll grab a coffee. Then you can tell me all about it." "This is just a bit of business, Don." "Sure." He pondered her remark as he queued for his Americano, but not for long. There was nothing to be gained by trying to guess what Fran was thinking. There never had been. He went back to her table with his coffee and sat down. The place was crowded with a predictable weekday haul of assorted professionals, killing time between appointments. Glancing around, Don found himself missing the rumbustious characters he had started out his working life with. Everyone now seemed bland by comparison. But the coffee was better. There was certainly no denying that. "How's the family?" he ventured, smiling across at Fran after trying to drink some of his coffee before realizing it was far too hot. The family Don referred to comprised the husband and 2 daughters Fran had acquired since their divorce. "They're fine," she said briskly. Perhaps just a little too briskly, Don thought, who secretly hoped to hear one day that his replacement was being ditched in turn. "So, what can I do for you?" "You could start by explaining the ethical differences Ben said had led to you leaving Mendes Chinnery." "I should have got out of there yonks ago. How can I be expected to do my best work when I have to answer to a prat like him?" Fran closed her eyes for a second. Maybe this was a mistake. "Look, Ben and I had a major falling out. That's all there is to it." Don shrugged. "I'd probably have resigned anyway. It was time to move on." "Where to?" "Not sure yet." "No," Fran sighed. "Exactly." "Well, if you know of a juicy opening." "I don't. But, as it happens, I do have an urgent job that needs doing and, since you're available at short notice—" "Good of you to think of me, Fran." "Yes. I can't seem to stop myself doing that." She frowned away the hint of affection. "Occasionally." He grinned. "So, what's the job?" "I've been handling a divorce for a woman who wants to sell a property ASAP. It's in Cornwall, and she's anxious to proceed quickly. I need a valuation, floor plans, photographs, etc., to present to suitable agents. We're talking about a price tag of $5 million or so. The international market." "I wouldn't mind having a crack at selling it myself." Don was hardly exaggerating. A £5 million property could net him more than 100,000. "I could put several buyers her way." "We'll see. For the moment, I just need you to go down there and put the particulars together." "She doesn't want this dragged into the divorce settlement. Is that it?"